Hi, I'm Travis B. Welcome to my house. Come on in. Let me clean up real quick. This is the front room. Normally, it is filled with toys. We're about 1 month away from a Lego apocalypse up in here. This is where the magic happens. Welcome to the kitchen. Blessed. This is the living room, where I entertain the likes of John Krasinski, Jenna Fisher, Oscar Nunez, Steve Carell even. Well, I guess they entertain me. So this is Jude's room. This is where all the diapers are changed, a lot of them. And this is where the naps happen, or at least they attempt to happen. Books. Welcome to the backyard. We get to enjoy God's creation of bugs and rocks and swings and dogs that bark a lot. So I know you've been wondering about that indoor pool. This is the pool room. Obviously there used to be a pool table here, as you can tell by these nice fixtures. But this room turns into a pool. If it rains nice and hard, water fills up about 1 inch deep, becomes a nice little kid's splash pad. Don't get too envious. Welcome to the office. This is where I get all my work done. Got my multi-screen monitor set up so I can really multitask. I'm really good at that. And my pride and joy, right up there. Champion. Read that? Champion. Well, that's my house. Feel free to stop by anytime.
The suggestion to come stop by anytime is not a suggestion to break hashtag stay-at-home orders. Not all suggestions by the youth pastor are suitable for everyone, and this or any other suggestion may result in illness. To reduce the risk of illness in your case, ask your local authorities before stopping by your youth pastor's house.
Well, welcome to Midweek Live. We hope you enjoyed the tour of my house.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, you had a crib and a crib. That was the best part.
Crib and a crib. Jude's crib in our crib. It was it was a lot of fun making that, and so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you're enjoying your crib as much as it's probably, it's been a couple weeks since you've been able to really leave it, so that's a challenge. But welcome to Midweek Live. Let us know in the chat what's been going on. Greet somebody and share this video right now because we want to invite as many people as possible to be a part of Midweek Live. And we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up, including some extra special prizes for you that are watching. So stay tuned for that. Sarah, we have a lot of things coming up. It's April now, May, there's some fun things coming, and we're excited for those.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that it's April 22nd, that we're almost done with April and we'll be moving into May, which means graduation is right around the corner. And even though graduation looks a little different this year, we're still really excited to be able to celebrate you and your accomplishments if you're graduating this year.
Absolutely.
So we're still having our Senior Sunday graduation recognition. So what's going to happen is either through the student website or through the 411, there's going to be a link that you can fill out to still participate. So what you're going to do is decorate your door. Go all out. Be crazy, be excited. You can still wear your cap and gown. And then on May 1st or 2nd, we're going to come and drive by and get footage of you in front of your door, and then we'll include it as part of our service for Graduation Recognition Sunday. So the deadline to sign up is April 30th. So make sure you sign up so we can celebrate you.
Yeah, don't miss that. I know seniors, this has been not the senior year you expected, but we want to celebrate you just as much. And so don't miss out on being a part of that. Website 411, sign up now. So the next thing, Sarah, I'm really excited about, but I know that we have the gauntlet to go through because this next game, we teased it last week. We're going to have celebrities on our foreheads, and we're going to be asking questions of each other to see who can get their celebrity first, or guess
Yes.
the first one. And so we got a bunch of cards right here. So Sarah, I'm going to grab my first one, and hopefully it's not upside down. Sarah, you got yours.
I'm really nervous.
So the way this works is a single elimination. So we're going to go back and forth. Sarah, ladies first, you can ask the first question. And when you feel confident enough, you can take a guess. So we get one question each, and then the first person to guess theirs stays. And then we have some of our other student staff that are going to come on one after one and take on the winner. All right?
So what happens if you lose the game?
That's a good question. If you lose the game, what's going to happen, Sarah? Do you know?
The 3 losers are going to participate in the hot sauce challenge next week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot at stake.
There's a lot at stake, and I think Sarah and I are both the wimps of this game. So we have.
No.
Okay, Sarah's not the wimp. I'm absolutely the wimp. I am not going to be able to handle the hot sauce challenge. So, okay, are you ready?
No.
Stakes are high. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay.
I like that you expressed yourself at least a little bit. Look at the camera so you can talk.
Yes. Okay.
So you can ask your first question.
Am I a female?
No.
Okay.
Am I an entertainer?
Yes. Kind of.
Maybe a broad question, so that may not help you at all.
Yes. Helps
Okay.
entertain.
Okay, helps entertain.
Am I an athlete?
No.
Oh man.
Am I on a talk show?
No.
Okay.
Am I on a reality TV show?
No. Am I an athlete?
No.
No.
Am I a musician?
Yes. Okay. Am I a boy?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I an actor?
I guess yes.
Am I a
but-
real person?
Yes. You got 2 questions there. All right. Am I on a TV show?
No.
No.
Am I in a movie?
Yes. A boxer?
No. Am I dead?
No. Am I an author?
Yes. I feel a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. Do I write fantasy novels?
Not novels.
Okay, not novels. Am I Stan Lee?
Yeah!
Okay.
Dang it, I lost!
Man, that was
Painful.
thrilling.
Painful. Okay.
Thrilling TV
So we're
folks.
going again, and we gotta go quick,
And we're going to be a little more liberal with our answers, a little more,
giving stuff away.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Ready?
All right, 3, 2, 1. What are these?
Okay.
Am I a boy?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you're a man.
Man. Manly man. Am I
Scale of 1 to 10, how successful am I?
10?
Wow. Okay, good.
Am I an athlete?
Probably, but not like as a career.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Am I an athlete?
No.
Okay.
Buff though.
Good.
Depending
You too,
on-
man.
Okay.
You've been looking good. You been working out?
Okay, so am I on TV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now that TV
In movies.
in movies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that counts for me.
Okay.
Am I a singer?
No.
Okay.
Not a singer. Action star.
Yep.
Okay. Am I Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Why do you get 2 questions in a row? Oh no, you're not Arnold. You're not Arnold
Okay.
Schwarzenegger. Good guess. Okay, so I am. Forgot. I'm buff. I don't
Yeah.
sing. I'm not an athlete. Oh my goodness. So am I a movie star?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I in superhero movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I? Is he? No. No, you're not.
Not a superhero. Okay.
Am I male?
Yes.
We said I was buff, but there's buff girls too. So okay, buff male, movie star.
So movies, but not superhero movies.
Yep.
Am I a drama actor?
You're a bit dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Am I a comedian? Am I funny?
Yes.
Okay. Chris Pratt.
You were in Chris Pratt. Golly.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, my
Liam
boy!
Hemsworth. Yeah, that was going to take a while.
Liam is
That was going to take a while.
I got Liam mixed up. with
Hunger
Chris.
Games, right?
Sarah, we're
Yeah, Hunger
definitely going to be eating some hot sauce next week. In this
Yeah. I kind of want to do the hot sauce challenge, though, is the thing.
So you're just going to lose? Just tell me who I am then. Just text it to me.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Okay.
we'll see.
Am I a female?
No. Heck no.
Okay.
All right. Am I a female?
Hard to say. No, you're not. You are not a female.
Okay.
Am I an athlete?
Absolutely, but not as a profession.
Okay. Jeez.
Am I a movie star?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. Am I a movie star?
Yes.
Okay.
Am I famous from social media?
Not as famous as your brother.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Am I, let's see. When was I born?
I don't know the year.
Okay.
But
Give me a decade.
you're over 30.
Okay.
Am I Logan Paul?
No. Thankfully, no.
Okay.
No, we would never. Am I an action movie star?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Am I a musician?
No.
Okay.
Over 30. Action movie star. Am I funny?
Yes, but you're not a comedian.
Okay. Interesting.
Am I funny?
Probably, but I can't say for sure either way.
Okay.
Yep. Do I have kids? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Probably.
Probably.
No.
Man.
Jake Paul.
No.
Okay.
Good guess.
Thank you.
Okay. Am I in the Marvel universe?
Absolutely.
Okay. Am I Chris Evans?
No. Wait, hold it. My turn. Am I in the Marvel universe?
No. You wish.
All right.
Am I Chris Hemsworth?
Yes.
Yes. See, I was hoping I was Chris last game. All right. This is the. Is this the last round? Is this the last round?
That's the last round.
We were.
This is the. We
You
were.
won.
You won.
Oh well, we got more.
defeated
Won the
everyone.
game.
Oh, Chris Pratt. So what were the last two? Let's see.
So,
John Krasinski. That's the one I wanted. And oh man,
Will Ferrell. That's
Ferrell.
Am I funny?
That's a good
That was a
one.
really good one.
yeah, 'cause you were Pat Mahomes, by the way.
I wouldn't have even thought of Jackson Mahomes. Shout out Jackson Mahomes. I'm sure you're
No,
watching
no, no, no,
somewhere.
no, 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 no. If you are, we love you, man. But, jeez. All right, what's next? Get us out of here.
So, yeah, get out of here. That's right. So, we're grateful that you endured that because I am terrible with that game, as you can tell.
I was
And
really
so-
great last week. I
Yeah,
don't know what happened.
You really killed it last week. So we're going to be moving in, continuing our series on declaring war on really all the fights that are happening in ourselves. And so we're going to go to Tyler as we continue this series, and we hope that it's something that you can really tune in and hear what God has for you during this series.
Well, hey, students, we are back for week 2 of our series called I Declare War. And last week, Jake got us started talking about this subject. And the idea is this, that all of us, every single day, are fighting a battle of some sort. And you might think, what are you talking about? I've never fought anybody a day in my life. But the battle we're talking about, it is a war that we wage within ourselves. It's a fight with our thoughts, the things in our mind, the things that attack us every single day. And so we talked about declaring war on these hidden struggles, these hidden anxieties, these hidden temptations, all these things that keep us from becoming who God has created us to be. Because here's the reality, students, what happens in your mind really matters. The things you say to yourself, the things you say to other people, those things matter. And you may not realize how much they matter right now, but over time, you will see how important those things are. So again, there's a spiritual battle going on within all of us. It's different for everybody. For you, it may be a battle with a certain type of sin, a certain temptation. It may be a battle with self-esteem or doubt. For some of you, it may be more depression or anxiety or hopelessness. Maybe you just struggle to know how much you are worth. You're not sure about your value. So these are the things that we want to declare war on in this series and call these things out and say, hey, enough is enough. See, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians, he says that we must take every thought captive. And any thought in our mind that is not of God, we must get rid of it and replace it with something that is true. So that's why we're declaring war tonight. You know, I love watching war movies and some of the classic battle scenes. I just love watching those. And it's not because I love war necessarily, but it's a reality in the world we live in. But what I love is when you see a battle scene with a guy or a group of men or women that they rise up and they fight because they have something worth fighting for. That inspires me. Some of the classic battle scenes that I think about, Braveheart, where you have William Wallace. He has this group of misfit Scottish soldiers that have never fought before in their life. But they go up against the British Army and they fight because they're fighting for their freedom. And I love the scene where William Wallace his face is painted blue. He's on his horse and he's trying to get his men riled up to go and fight because it matters. Fighting for their freedom. I also think about the movie 300. 300 talks about Leonidas and his 300 Spartan warriors. Now, unlike the Scottish soldiers in Braveheart, these men were warriors in 300. I mean, they knew what they were doing. They were strong. They were tough. They'd fought before. But the problem is these 300 men are going up against the Persian army of over 300,000 men. They should in no way, shape, or form win that fight. But throughout the movie, they keep on winning these battles over and over again. I think my favorite scene from 300 is where they're fighting a small group of Persians and they kind of push them back so that they retreat. But then the 300 men, they turn around and they see like 100,000 arrows flying through the air at them. In fact, there's so many arrows that when they cross in front of the sun, the sky goes dark because there's so many arrows coming at them. And they're like, we're stuck, what do we do? But they didn't panic. They had a plan. All the men get down behind their shields and they put their shields over their heads so it forms like one giant shield. And all the arrows hit those shields and not a single Spartan warrior gets hurt. See, a lot of times playing defense in battle is the way to win. Hold the enemy off as long as you can. But as we declare war on the things that wage war inside of us, we need to know that we can play offense. We need to know that we don't need to just play defense and hope to survive. We can play offense and we can attack these things and we can take these things down. So why are we drawn to these stories? Why does Hollywood keep making movies about war and about conflict? You know, you and I may never fight in any sort of battle against any sort of foreign enemy, but I think we're still drawn to these real life, these battles and these men because we understand the tension. We understand the tension of fighting for something that you believe in, fighting for your freedom, essentially. And so that's the way I want you to think about this as we talk through this tonight. Because again, we are in a battle, whether we acknowledge it or not, every single day. It's a battle with the devil, a battle with our world, a battle with me, myself, and I. That's my biggest enemy every single day, and so we need to wage war on those things. Last week, Jake talked about Teddy Roosevelt and how he was such a courageous leader, but he was also very gentle at the same time. There's a story where Teddy Roosevelt is leading some troops into battle, and they get to a point where like they don't think they can go any farther. But Teddy Roosevelt talks about something inside of him that rose up, and he describes it like the spirit of a wolf rising from inside of him that gave him the courage to fight and keep on going. And he led his men, and they were able to overcome all the obstacles that were in front of them. And so I want to take that today and kind of list out a few things, and I want to title this message, Act Like a Wolf. Act like a wolf. See, the wolf, of all the animals, the wolf has some characteristics that you and I desperately need to possess and take note of. You probably know this, that wolves are fierce warriors. They're fighters, man. They're the epitome of the warrior spirit, the wolf. But here's the thing about a wolf is you'll never see a wolf fighting by itself. Wolves always travel, they live, and they fight in packs. They know that strength comes from numbers, and that's where they get their power from. But the wolf is also very gentle and tender. See, most of the time, wolves are not fighting. Most of the time, they're gentle. They're tender animals. They're caring animals. You've heard the phrase raised by wolves, surely. This is a real thing. That's not just a saying. This is something that really happens. So if there's one wolf pack that takes down another wolf pack, and there's a few pups left over from the pack that just lost, a lot of times the alpha male and female from the winning wolf pack, they will adopt those pups from the enemy wolf pack into their own. They will raise them as their own sons and daughters. They're incredibly gentle and nurturing. They're also incredibly empathetic. Empathy means that you relate to somebody else. You feel what somebody else is feeling. You mourn when somebody else is mourning. You celebrate when somebody else is celebrating. See, humans, we're very empathetic creatures. Here's how I know this. If I were to give a great big yawn right now, some of you would start yawning. Even as I talk about yawning right now, that feeling of when it's late and you're studying and you're tired and like you just desperately want to go to bed, but you're not quite done yet, and you just yawn really, really big, right? I bet there's at least a couple of people in the room right now that are yawning just thinking about it. Give it a few seconds, that yawn will spread around to some of the rest of you. Why? Because it's contagious. We are empathetic. Wolves also can suffer from contagious yawning. If one wolf yawns, it spreads around the pack. Why? Because they are empathetic creatures. They're caring, they're nurturing, but they're also warriors, and they fight when a fight is needed. I want to read a few verses to you from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, starting in verse 5. Paul is writing to a church in Thessalonica. Now, this is one of the oldest letters that Paul wrote in our New Testament, but he's writing to a group of believers that honestly, they're starting to lose hope. They believe in Jesus, they've been doing their best to follow Jesus, but it's getting difficult, and they're losing hope. And so Paul is encouraging them to fight, to keep on going. And here's what he says in chapter 5, starting in verse 5. For you are all children of the light, children of the day. We are not of the night or of the darkness, so let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. So Paul's essentially saying, hey, since we're creatures of the day, let's act like it. When he says creatures of the day, creatures of the light, he's talking about the light of the gospel, the light of Jesus. He's saying, hey, we are children of God, saved by grace, and so if that's who we are, we got to act like it. Wolves, they don't do those things I talked about just because they want to. They do those things because it's who they are. It's the type of creature they were created to be. So, students, we need to act like who we are. We need to act like who God says we are. So, I have 3 points for you tonight. 3 things we can learn from how a wolf lives, how a wolf fights that we can apply to our daily battles. Here's point number 1. Join a wolf pack. First thing you can do is join a wolf pack. I mentioned a minute ago that wolves never fight by themselves. They don't even live by themselves. They know, and here's a quote, that the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. That movie 300 I was talking about a few minutes ago, there's another scene toward the beginning where the Persian army is kind of approaching the 300 Spartan men, and there's kind of a big boulder to their back, and so they can't back up and retreat. The only thing they can do is hold. And that's what they keep saying is hold. Hold. So they take their shields, they dig them into the ground, they have their spears, they dig their feet into the dirt, and as the Persian army approaches, they just hold. They just hold the best they can. But they're strong because they're side by side, several rows deep. That's the only way they can hold off the Persian army. And when the timing is right, they take their shield down, they take out one row of Persians, then they put the shield back up and they hold for a little bit longer. None of those men would have survived if they had not have fought together side by side like they did. See, you and I, we are meant to do life together with other people that are like us, that are going for the same things we are. If you're a Christian, a believer in Jesus, especially you need people in your life that are fighting for the same thing that you are, that will fight for you when things get difficult, that will rely on you when they struggle with something. Life is not meant to be lived alone. So you need people who will fight with your best interests in mind. We've talked about this before, but studies show that you as a middle school and high school student, you are an average of your 5 closest friends. That means you tell me about your 5 closest friends, and I can get a pretty good picture of the kind of person that you are. Another way to say it is this: show me your friends, and I will show you your future. The reality is, in middle school and high school, you are very impressionable. It's not your fault. It's not a bad thing. It's just the time in your life when you're growing, you're making decisions for yourself, you're deciding the type of person you want to become in the future. And so show me your friends. Show me the people that you are allowing to influence you, and I will show you what your future may or may not look like. So what kind of pack are you running with? You need to choose to be a part of a wolf pack that will fight for you, that will fight for the right things. And if you don't, I'm afraid you might regret it.
Well, welcome back. Thank you so much, Tyler. As we're figuring out how this declaring war on the spiritual battles inside of us, we're going to figure out what it means to act like a wolf. And as much as that sounds silly to me sometimes, it's so crucial to see how God has made plans for us in his word. And so, Sarah,
Yeah,
we have
so
something fun for everybody.
right now we're going to do something fun. If you've been with us before, you know what's coming. It's the raffle. So all you have to do to enter to get Uber Eats or DoorDash is put !raffle and then your name. And then we'll see who wins at the end of tonight.
Yeah, so it's really simple. Make sure to enter, and this is another time to share this video so they can enter the raffle, because all they got to do is tune in with us, be a part of things, and enter their name into the raffle, and we'll find out at the end who that will be and what they will be getting. So we're going to send it back to Tyler. Thanks for sticking with us, and let's hear from God's word.
So number 1, join a wolf pack. Here's number 2, change your posture. Change your posture, right? When we think about posture, we think about good posture, standing up straight, presenting yourself well. Here's the thing about when we communicate. You've heard of nonverbal communication, surely. It's the things that I communicate even when I don't say anything, right? Here's something I need you to know. 93% of our communication is nonverbal. That means our words only account for 7% of what we're saying. So to kind of chase a rabbit trail for a second, that's why relationships and communicating only through social media does not cut it. Because that person's only getting 7% of what you were trying to communicate. And you wonder why we get confused and upset and offended on social media all the time. But different conversation for a different day. 93% of our communication is nonverbal, meaning it's not just the words I say, but it's my tone. It's the way I stand. It's my facial expression, my countenance when I'm talking to you. Am I listening, or am I looking around and focused on other things? You see, wolves also communicate nonverbally. You can identify, studies have shown us, people who study wolf packs and kind of follow them and study them, they can tell when a wolf is a pup, what kind of role they will have in the pack when they're adults, simply by their posture. Simply by their posture. In every wolf pack, there's an alpha wolf. Oftentimes it's a male, sometimes it's a female, but it's an alpha. It's the top dog, right? Studies show that if you study pups in a wolf pack, just their posture, the way they carry themselves as a young pup, they'll know if that pup is fit to be an alpha when they grow up or not. Also in a wolf pack is the beta wolf. This is like the second in command. This is the lieutenant. They actually call it the lieutenant wolf. This is the wolf that says, hey, I'm ready to go, just tell me where. He's ready to lead, he's ready to fight, he's ready to move, but he waits for the instruction from the alpha wolf. Oftentimes as a pup, you can tell who that might be as well. Another type of wolf we see in a wolf pack, this is fun, it's called the omega wolf. In the Greek alphabet, omega is farther down the chain, kind of like O is farther down in our alphabet. This wolf, it may not be the strongest, may not be the best leader. It may be a little bit weaker than the other wolves. Sometimes it eats last because it just doesn't want to fight the other wolves. But the omega wolf is often playful. It's encouraging, and it's lovable. And again, you can tell when a wolf is just a pup, if it has what it takes to be the omega wolf when it grows up. Here's what I'm trying to say. We have to act like a wolf even when we don't feel like a wolf. If we are cut out to be a certain type of person, God has a plan for all of us, and He has something He wants to do in you and through you. And so if you are a child of God like God says you are, we have to act like it, even when we don't always feel like it. Joel, the book of Joel in the Old Testament, chapter 3 says this, let the weak say, I am strong. Let the person that feels weak, that feels beat down, that feels hopeless, that feels like they can't keep moving, let that weak person say, no, I'm strong. Because students, our feelings are not fact. Our feelings are not fact. What God has said about us is fact, is true. So we need to change our posture. We need to present ourselves as children of God, saved by grace, living with the Spirit of God inside of us, even if we don't feel like it all the time. And so next time that you're struggling, you're wound up, you're upset, you're angry, I want you to take a deep breath. Because in your brain, you go into something what is called fight or flight mode. Maybe you've heard about this. When your heart rate escalates, you move into fight or flight mode. Your brain begins to prioritize what your body should do. It's preparing you to either fight or to flee, right? And it can be different depending on the situation you're in. But here's something that does not happen very well. Your decision-making falls on the list of priorities, meaning when your heart rate is escalating and you're wound up and you're ready to fight or flee, you're probably not going to make a very good decision. And you've experienced this. This is why when you're arguing with somebody, like an hour later, you think of the perfect comeback. You're like, oh, I wish I would have said this right then because I would have just... It's because we don't make good decisions when we're fighting, right? It's like after a fight, you regret the thing that you threw across the room, or you regret punching the hole in the wall because we don't make good decisions when we're wound up. So take a deep breath, remind yourself of who you are, and ask God to help you with the next step. So number 1, we join a wolf pack. Number 2, we change our posture. Number 3 is this. We have to learn the balance. A lot of following God in this life is learning the proper balance. See, I mentioned a minute ago that to be a wolf is to be a brave warrior, but it's also to be a loving nurturer. Here's another thing I found about a wolf that is super interesting. It's kind of gross, but it's actually really cool. So wolves are known to intentionally regurgitate. That means they puke up whatever they've just killed and eaten so that a young wolf, or maybe like an older wolf that's hurt, maybe diseased or injured, they can't hunt for themselves. They will literally throw up what they just ate so that other wolf can feed themselves. How disgustingly beautiful is that? See, there's going to be times in your life where you are the person that needs help. You're the person that's hurting, that's weak, and you need somebody in your wolf pack that'll say, hey, let me help you with this. Let me take care of this for you. Let me provide this for you. But you'll also have the opportunity sometimes to be the strong one, to be the one that can fight, and you can provide for somebody else that is weak and that is going through a difficult time. How amazing is it to know that as a church, as a community, we have people like that will fight with us, that will help provide for us when things are difficult. Let me continue reading in 1 Thessalonians 5 in verse 8. Paul continues to say this. He says, since we belong to the day, let us be sober, having put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For God has not designed us for wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ, who died for us so that whether we are awake or asleep, we might live with him. Therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing. So Jesus was the perfect picture of this balance, of knowing when to fight and when to be a gentle, loving, nurturing spirit. Here's the thing. There was a time when Jesus walked into the temple and was fed up and angry with what he saw. He flipped the tables over. He ran people out with a whip. But you know what? That only happened one time. When things got difficult, the way Jesus fought was by giving himself, sacrificing himself. Jesus could have fought the soldiers off when they came to arrest him. He could have called down lightning and taken all of them out right then, but he knew that was not God's plan. The best, most strategic, ultimate maneuver ever in history was when Jesus, the Son of God, God as a person, gave himself on the cross. He died for all of us. The moment he took his last breath, the enemy thought that he had won. The enemy thought that the battle was over. The enemy started celebrating. And then 3 days later, on Sunday morning, when Jesus rose from the dead and he was alive again, he defeated death. The one thing that the enemy had, he defeated it. The devil knew that he had lost. The devil knew that he had been stumped. The devil knew that the war was done. It had been won. So students, I need you to hear me say this. The fight that you fight every single day, it's still a battle. As long as you're alive on this planet, there will still be a daily battle every day that you will have to fight. But you can fight knowing that you're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from victory. Because Jesus has already won. He has already defeated the enemy. And he has given you the tools to fight this battle the best you can every single day. So here's the bottom line, the main thing I need you to get from this. Your daily activity should come from your new identity. Your daily activity should come from your new identity. Again, wolves, they act like wolves because that's who they are. You and I, we're children of God. We should act like children of God. We should aim to be gentle and loving and caring, but when we got to fight, and it's not going to be with other people, it's going to be with ourselves, typically, with me, myself, and I. We got to be ready. We got to have a game plan. So here's what I want to do as I close up. I want to give you 2 application points, 2 things you can do to help yourself get ready for this battle every single day, okay? The first one is this, a pregame. What does your pregame look like? Any fighter, any athlete, a boxer, they have a pregame that they go through to get themselves ready for the fight. Part of it is getting yourself hyped up and ready, but part of it is also strategy, knowing what the enemy's going to do, right? Having a strategy and a game plan. So how do you prepare for battle each day? There's a few things you can do. We encourage you to journal and pray. Just write down what you're thinking. Write down what you're going through. Write down the things that are good in life and the things that are really just making you upset right now. And pray those things. Just say, God, I'm giving it to you. Help me. That's a great place to start. Another great thing you can do is be committed. Be committed to being at church. Life groups on Sunday mornings, midweek on Wednesday nights. Be a part of this wolf pack so we can fight together. One more opportunity, the YouVersion Bible app. It's an app on your smartphone, YouVersion Bible. There's a reading plan that goes with this series called I Declare War. It's a 5-day reading plan all about the stuff we're talking about. So, man, I encourage you. That's a great thing to look at. So pregame, the second thing I want to encourage you to do is to have props. Have props. Have physical things in your life that you wear or that you see every day that remind you of who you are, that remind you that you're fighting for victory, not from victory. I have a couple examples. So I have this bracelet that I wear. It says HWLF. I used to wear a bracelet a long time ago that said WWJD, which stood for What Would Jesus Do? Right? So in every situation, you ask the question, okay, what would Jesus do in this situation? Well, this bracelet, HWLF, basically answers that question. It stands for He Would Love First. So it's a reminder that as a child of God, I'm called to love first, no matter what happens. I also wear around my neck a cross on this chain. I've been wearing a necklace like this for as long as I can remember. A long, long time. Just last night, my 2.5-year-old daughter was sitting on my lap, and she pulled this chain out, and she said, Daddy, what is this? In fact, the first thing she said was, look, it's an X. I said, no, baby girl, that's a cross. And we got to have a conversation about what the cross meant. It's a reminder of what Jesus did for us. It's a reminder of how Jesus won the war, and he did it with me in mind. He did it with you in mind, so that every day when you wake up, you know, hey, I've got the same power that rose Jesus from the dead. It lives in me. So anything you're going through today, any battle you face today, you have the power of God with you at all times to face that battle. There are a lot of things you can do, but something physical. Now, don't be phony with this. Don't be like somebody you're not, but just find some things that remind you of who God says that you are. So, to wrap this up, once again, you and I, we're in a battle. Whether you acknowledge this or not, you are in a battle every single day. The enemy wants to take you out. Why? Because you are worth fighting for. You are so worth fighting for that God himself came to earth, became a person, suffered all the things that humanity throws at us every single day, and gave his life, was brutally murdered so that he could win the war on your behalf. So the enemy wants to take you out because God has a plan for you, and the devil does not want that plan to come true. So this battle is going to happen every single day because you are worth fighting for. So the best thing you can do is to choose to fight for God's team and to get up each day ready for battle. And again, your bottom line, your daily activity should come from your new identity. So commit to fighting like a wolf. And if you do that, you will have God in your corner and us right next to you fighting with you and for you. Thanks so much.
for the teaching, Tyler. Just,
You're welcome.
I think for me, it's a big challenge. There are times throughout my day when I don't always act like a child of God, or times when I don't necessarily feel the Lord is really close, or like I'm 100% in my relationship with Him, or where I need to be. And so it's just a good challenge that I need to always be living out my identity in Christ, whether or not I'm having a good day or a bad day, or whether or not I feel close to God. I always have to act like I belong to Him.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good, and I hope that's not a. I hope that for you all listening tonight, it's not a matter of like you should feel guilty. It's a matter of like you should be encouraged that even when you don't feel like God is with you, or if you don't feel like things are going well, that doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change your identity. Even if a wolf doesn't feel like a wolf or whatever, like that's still what they are, and that's still how they act, because it's who they've been created to be. And so you've been created to be that, whether you're having a great day or a bad day or whatever. And so all I have to say, hope you take that to heart. Hope you think this week about who is in your wolf pack that you can go through this thing with, even though we can't be physically together. We hope you are taking steps to be connected over Zoom, over FaceTime, over texting, whatever. And we'll talk about that more here in just a second. But we have an exciting challenge for you all. It will begin tonight, right now, and it will finish next Wednesday when we get to see what you've done this week. It's a creative challenge. So we're doing, this is called the Instagram Stock Photo Challenge. If you ever gone to like Target, or if you got like a picture frame from your grandma for Christmas or something like that, there's always a stock photo in that frame of people that you don't know at all, but they're nice, good-looking people, whatever, right? So we went online and we found a few stock photos that we think are just goofy enough, but also normal enough to where like you can recreate this photo, okay? If you need some examples, here's what we mean. So the four of us this week took this challenge. Here's a picture of some woman enjoying a nice spring day, throwing spaghetti in the air. And then let's see what Travis did with this. Okay, there we go. So there's Travis on a similar nice spring day, but he is throwing, is that broccoli?
Salad.
Oh, salad. He's throwing salad in the air. So you got like a full Italian meal right there with those two pictures.
Now I want spaghetti.
Yeah, right? Okay, so here's a paranoid guy looking fly playing Animal Crossing. Oh, there's Jake. Oh my goodness, that's well done, man. He had the whole outfit and everything.
Dang.
Wow, very good. Okay, here's Clay Withers. Now this guy, I think this guy's just showing off because he has toilet paper and other people don't, right?
Probably.
So anyway, yeah, there you go. So there's my recreation. Certainly you can do better than I did, but it is what it is. I'm just thankful I'm not gray. Okay, so this has to be Sarah's, right?
Yeah.
My goodness. So Sarah, describe what's happening in this picture in your mind. Give us a backstory.
So I ran out of coffee. Like, I had 2 coffee cups. One was blue to match the picture, and the other one was pink because it's mine. And the coffee in my pink mug was cold, and I was out of coffee in that mug, so I was distressed.
So who are you looking at?
I was looking at a Clorox container on the table.
So you have those 4 stock photos to pick from. And what's going to happen is we're going to post those on Instagram right now so you can see the photos, okay? And then this week we want you to take whichever photo you want. You can screenshot it or save it, whatever. But then you recreate that photo. And what we're going to do is if you submit them to us, we're going to show them on the stream next Wednesday night, and we'll award a winner based on accuracy of recreating the photo, creativity, that kind of thing, okay? So here's how you can submit them. If you're on Instagram, just post it to your Instagram feed and then tag us, Connection PC Students, or if you want to send it through direct message, but we'd rather you just post it and tag us, that way your friends can see what you're doing. If you're not on Instagram, then you can send us an email, and I'm going to go eeny, meeny, miny, Sarah at connectionpoint.tv. Just email her your photo, and of course give us your name so we know who you are, but we'll be able to tell from the photo.
Oh, yeah.
I think. So
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to be a lot of fun. So get creative with that this week. If you want to do more than one, that's great, but you got to tell us, like, this is the one that I am, like, entering as my, like, contest photo. But I know you're bored, and so if you want to take more photos, that's totally fine. So I'm excited to see how y'all do with that next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is time to announce the winner of the raffle and where you're going to get food from.
Oh, boy.
So,
I'm hungry.
Who do you think won?
I think it's a girl. And I think she is, I think she has two eyes, some hair. That's all I'm getting. So
That's
see.
exactly who I thought was going to win.
Yeah.
So,
Could be a boy though too.
with really long hair.
There's no telling. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys can check the comments below to see who won.
Well, we're gonna spin the wheel first.
Oh,
So let's spin
sorry,
the wheel.
we're going to
And
spin the wheel
let's find out,
first.
let's find out where you're eating. And so last week our winner got Panda Express. Actually, they were going to, but they didn't live near Panda Express, so they got Wendy's instead. But we'll do our best. Okay, so Panda, McAllister's, Fazoli's, IHOP, Sonic, Chipotle, B-Dubs, Five Guys, and the winner is... Give me those unlimited breadsticks, baby!
Oh.
Fazoli's, man. I'll tell you what.
Italian.
People sleep on Fazoli's. It's good. It is good stuff. Like it's no
It
Olive
is
Garden,
good.
but it's quicker. You get unlimited breadsticks, and Jake disagrees with me, but I don't.
But you also
care.
get unlimited breadsticks at Olive Garden.
Yeah, but it takes longer, and they're not as good. No, I'm here for Fazoli's. So whoever the winner is, congratulations. And so we're gonna put the name of the winner in the chat in 5, 4. If you hadn't entered yet, put exclamation point raffle. You got 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1.5. That's exclamation point raffle and your first and last name. 1 winner is in the chat right now. Congratulations. You are going to have all the breadsticks you can eat. So,
It's a lot of breadsticks.
does DoorDash do unlimited breadsticks?
I would
If you're
hope.
just like, hey, I ate 10 of them, I need 10 more. You think that's going to be more?
I would hope so. It'd be
We'll
a
see.
ripoff.
So, congratulations. You're going to have a free meal this week. Way to go.
Yeah.
You did awesome. All right, gang. So, hey, that's pretty much all we have tonight. But we're going to end tonight a little bit differently. So, the past several weeks, we've sent you off from here to go to your Zoom groups. And what we've done is we've posted a different link for every life group in the chat. Well, we're going to do it differently. We're going to post one link, one Zoom link, and everybody's going to go to the same Zoom room in just a few seconds. We're all going to be there as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get together. We're going to talk to each other face to face. We'll play a quick game. And then from there, we will put you in your breakout rooms in the same room with your life group leader. So that way it's not confusing. There's just one place you got to get to, and we'll take care of you from there, okay? So here's what we're going to do. Sarah and I are going to sign off. You're going to go to Zoom groups, and we'll see you there, okay? So click on that link right now. You should see it in the chat, and let's hang out. See y'all later.